Once again, welcome to the third world, also known as the United Kingdom, where nothing works. The roads are clogged, the streets are full of rubbish, and there are no English to be found anywhere except the table across from me. And the Wi-Fi doesn't work anywhere properly. My network I'm paying for has 1 bar, insufficient to get a signal in here. Now I have 0 bars, can't do anything with it. Anyway, what a frustrating thing. And this network was working fine a few minutes ago. Now it's like super slow. Can't even get to the news. Hey, Sandra, what's going on? How you doing? And then it's been unbelievably cloudy all day long, pouring rain. And the moment I sit down here, and I can't sit at that table, which is where the sun would be at my back because there's a mother with her daughter there. And so now I've got the sun reflecting all over the screen and all over me. So it's very irritating. There we go. Sorry about that, guys, but that's what we got. So let me try to get over here. I can't log in on my phone because it suddenly wants my password, which I don't have, which is on a removable drive. And oh gosh. Anyway, frustrating. Never ends, the frustration. I'll be home soon enough. I'm tired of this nonsense. It's like working in the DRC in 1995. That's how the internet is here. So looks like they're getting ready to leave. If they do, then I'll move over to the other table and we'll be in better shape there. Why can I not see my chat? It's not even loading. There it goes, finally. Still hasn't loaded the chat. There we go. I have chat. Okay, I can pause that. Looks like they're leaving, so I'm going to be able to move over there and get the sun out of my eyes in just a moment. Okay, so hang tight. And we'll be moving in just a moment from this spot. Okay, we're going to go now. They're leaving. Okay, cool. Grab the table before someone else does. Get the sun out of my face. And then clean up their mess here. I'm coming, folks. Just be patient. I'm here. Just relocating everything. It was very quiet here until just a few moments ago. Nobody was here, and suddenly people start coming in. I guess they're getting off work. I'm not sure what the deal is. A lot of things to move. It's probably how I lost that pair of glasses. Too many things to move, too many times, too much going on. Too many things to move. Get with the news here in just a moment, folks. Got some big news for you. USA qualifying for the Rugby World Cup, barely, but they got in just the same. So they're in now for Australia. That's exciting. Okay, I think I got all my things. And I'm back. Y'all still with me? Yeah, you're getting used to me moving around. Well, I'm not getting used to it. I'm getting tired of it. It's very irritating, quite annoying. Okay, now I've got my spot back here that I can sit in. You have the exact same shirt? Really, Garrett? It's 2 shirts. Yeah, maybe you do. All right. And now the sun is gone and the clouds are back. God bless it. This clip on the microphone is not perfect. The microphone's very good, but the clip isn't perfect. All right, so now we're back. Cool beans. All right. Do we still have an audience? Yes, USA has qualified for Rugby World Cup 2027. Yesterday they beat Samoa 29-13 in Colorado. It was a shocker for a lot of people. I don't know if you hear the background noise. None of these people were here 5 minutes ago. They all just showed up, and they're not very quiet, but that's their prerogative. It's a public place. People allowed to talk. I can't sit outside because I can't get enough signal. Plus, the wind is just brutal, and any second it'd start pouring on me. So it's probably, like I said, I lost that pair of glasses. All right, so hopefully the internet will work here. Looks like it is for the moment. Let me say hello to the people in the chat, and then we'll get to the news. Sandra Yonk, Mr. and Ms. Smith, Gabriel Stoltz, Christos Neyman, Michelle Heath, Tiger and Sweets, Tony Pretorius, Lynette, Bernadette Conaway, Firefox, Doretta Fundameva, D. Barham, Legion, William Wheeler, Rebecca, Neil Kogenberg, Gerrit Gillich, Hein Schnettler, boy, a lot of German names tonight, Konrad Heldenhuis, Mandy van Rooyen, Amanda Lowe, Madeline, Ingrid's Inspirations, Elmarie Mayer, Denise, Uadoya Prinsloo, Heidi Kruger, Steve 64. Welcome, Steve. USA Minion 2B, Sumari, Sandra Yonk, Joy. One of my viewers, I know that we've got some former police in the audience and a few serving police officers. If one of you knows somebody in Bloemfontein that you could reach out to so that we can go get a refugee aspirant fingerprints, someone whose fingerprints are worn off because of the hand sanitizer. He cannot get that done. The police that he went to, he says, were very rude and disrespectful to him and told him that he had to pay for it. If we could get a police officer that knows something about this, send me an email and we could try to help him. He's panicking a little bit. Hello, Barbara Harrison. Are you in England? I'm in England too. First off, I'm going to say right here very quickly my apologies to Katie. Katie said, Katie, I don't know if he or she, I think it's a she. Katie said Katie was coming to meet me at the meet and greet in Exeter at the Devon Hotel. I stayed until 9:30 that night, and I didn't see any messages. I posted on the board. I put it in the groups. I told people on the previous things that that's where I was going to be. And I said I expected we'd do it at 5:30, and then I never saw anybody show up there. I was there till 9:30, sitting outside the restaurant at the hotel. Nobody showed. So, Katie, if you came, my sincere apologies. It was I'm sorry I missed you, but I did say where I was going to post the information at. And anyway, so yeah. And then Neil is trying to link up with me too. Neil, I will be in London Thursday night, but at Heathrow. So I'll be at the Heathrow on Sunday night, and so I will set up a meet and greet there if people want to come see me. I said Thursday evening, sorry. Thursday. Please quit sending emails. I'm sure it's nobody here watching the stream to my personal email address. I'm going to start ignoring them. I have one here, hopeless, living on a farm in South Africa, unsure about application. Well, you've sent it to the wrong place. That is not the place. Of course, this is live. It says live right on the thing. Anyway. All right, so what's this? Arriving on Friday, I won't be able to come to meet you, greet this time, maybe on your next. Well, Barbara, you're in England. I don't know where you're at, but I will be at Heathrow on Thursday night. So look at it, not get notification. So that's because there was no notification. I set one up, and then the stream wouldn't connect. I had to reset it, and here we are. So yeah, when I get back to the States, I've got to take my phone in and try to get somebody to repair it. My hip spasmed, my leg spasmed when I was trying to get some food the other night. I was tired after that in Exeter after that long broadcast, and my arm hit me, and I knocked the phone. I was putting it in my pocket and knocked it down and shattered my screen. Like I said, I already broke one screen because somebody bumped the table the other day on a cheapy phone, but this is my good phone, and yeah, replacing it costs way too much to get the same capability. So I looked in the States, I can get it repaired supposedly. So when I get back, I'm gonna take it to them on Monday or Sunday and try to get it repaired. Who's angry? What's with the angry? I didn't say anything about angry. Let's go back to that. Diesel. Hey, Arc Precision, it's been a while. 3 killed by drunk EFF politician. Laboratory failed to process sample. Wow. Thanks, Keith. It's time to go home now. Sounds like you're missing home. I'm missing reasonable traffic, things that work, Wi-Fi that works everywhere. You go to McDonald's, Wi-Fi works. You know, here, good luck with that. You go to Starbucks there, Wi-Fi works. Yeah, look, it took me 2 hours and 40 minutes to travel from Exeter to Bristol. Let me look at that on a map, see if that'll load up. Maps. Let's see how long that'll load up. That's ridiculous. So let me see. Exeter, I think it's like 50 miles. Okay, let's see how far it is. Exeter to Bristol. My guess is about 50 miles. Yeah, it's 79 miles, my bad, 80 miles, and it says 1 hour. It took me 2 hours and 40 minutes last night to make yesterday after the game, make that journey, just to get to Bristol. And that Bristol isn't even the cutoff. You got to get past Bristol to head over towards London or head up north. It's insane. Yeah, the M4 is not until after that. It took 2 hours and 40 minutes to travel that short distance, 80 miles. It was really annoying. Super annoying. And the GPS actually routed me around some of it early on. I avoided another half-hour wait because of that. But I just couldn't route the rest of the way because there's no other road. I have breaking news about So Ramaphosa. That's coming up. Madeline says, we missed you yesterday. Well, I'm sorry. I was sitting in traffic. When I would have done the broadcast, I was sitting on the M5 between Exeter and Bristol in crappy weather, and then nice weather, then crappy weather, and just people driving like crazy. Went for my passport. What a pleasant experience. Cool. Good to hear that, Veroshka. Going to be orientation Thursday. Okay, cool. Sounds like a lot of people got things moving. Mail 5 weeks ago, nothing since then. Okay. Oh, I was supposed to call somebody. I need to tell them. Hang on a second here. I think what the name was. Sorry. All right, so that's taken care of. Somebody wrote me from one of the media networks earlier. Sorry, folks. This is how my day's gone. I went about 4 hours behind where I need to be because I spent 4 hours answering people's emails and messages, all about people panicking. Listen, okay, before I get to the news, and the big news with Palapala, let me just say this. I would really appreciate if people stop freaking out, stop making assumptions, stop creating conspiracy theories about what's going on. Arabs are always so loud, man. Sorry. Stop making lots of noise, because that's them on. Stop making noise. Stop freaking out, because I'm getting a bunch of unnecessary messages, and all I'm telling people is the common sense thing. You need to quit freaking out, quit spazzing over things, and just be patient. All right? The fact that you sent something in on a certain date doesn't mean that you're privileged or you have a right to go before someone else. They do the things at their pace. That's how it goes. Anyway, so it's been driving me crazy. I'm trying to answer those questions and be polite, but it gets to be a lot. 37-year-old son, severely handicapped. He sucks his fingers like a baby. To open a bank account for a disability grant was almost impossible. To take fingerprints took 3 hours. That's crazy. Sorry to hear that, Paul. They got a lot of drama queens. Talk about a Blue Monday. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Charles, what are people complaining about you, Charles? I didn't see anything from you. So happy with all the time. You're on all the time. Okay, thank you, Peter. You're welcome. And Charlie. Well, we wrote the song about Charlie. That came out pretty well. Hey, Nyanga, what's going on, man? Anonymous. Hi. Good evening, everyone. All right, let's get to some of the news here, folks. Some big news out of South Africa. And the first one, of course, is the trial for Palapala is underway. And the Palapala farm employee admits to stashing cash under Ramaphosa's couch for safekeeping. The acting general manager says the money came from a client who bought 17 buffaloes and 3 male buffaloes for 400,000 each, totaling 8 million rand. I was afraid to leave it there in the safe because if it disappeared, I would be in trouble. That employee, who cannot be named in terms of the court order, confirmed he was employed as an acting lodge manager at the Palapala farm range. In Mwandwela, David and siblings Froliani, good God, they're annoying. And Delisho Joseph, who are facing charge of conspiracy to commit housebreaking with the intent to steal and theft, 2 counts of housebreaking. On Monday, a farm employee who was the first state witness told the court he had received the $580,000 from the client on December 25th, 2019 as payment for the 20 buffaloes he had sold on the farm. Of course, none of those buffalo have ever left the farm. None have ever gone to Sudan or Dubai or anywhere else. They're all still there. The acting general manager said, oh my God. They'll probably sit there for 5 hours. The acting general manager said the client had picked up 17 females and 3 males. Though surprised, as clients usually do transactions to the bank, he said he checked the exchange rate and proceeded to take the money. It was the time total 8 million South African currency. But he wasn't paid in South African currency. He was paid $580,000 in US money. He hid it in SOFA. So the general manager was not around at the time of the transaction. He placed the money in the safe after handing the client a receipt for acknowledgement of it. On the next day, Ramaphosa was coming from his other farm in Mpumalanga and headed to Cape Town, passed by. I then explained to him everything that had happened. He told me he was going on a holiday and he will deal with the money when the general manager is back. Ramaphosa said he would have to explain to the general manager about the money because there wasn't any decision taken away. We were going to take the money. We were still going to talk about it. Employee testified when he went on leave on December 3rd, he couldn't leave the money in the safe as he deemed it unsafe because everyone had access to documents and keys in there. So change the safe combination, genius. Inside the house in the spare bedroom, he said he'd remove the cushions of a couch, lying at the top and stashing the cushions back on top of the money. He replaced Ramaphosa's golf bags on the couch. He confirmed he was alone at the time and locked up before leaving. Oh, my goodness. On February 10th, while at a sister farm of Palapala, received a call from a housekeeper from the main house asking him to come urgently. When he got there, he was shown the sliding door, which was open, the curtains open, which prompted him to start inspecting the place. He said he found the window open, the scratch mark, and broken handle. He also found that some cameras had been moved while some were broken. He went into the room, and these dash cash discovered was no longer there. I was afraid because it was a lot of money. I called Mr. Ramposi, he was not in the country at the time. I told him the news. He told me that he would send his head of bodyguards. And then that's when the cover-up began. So, that's when the SAPS protection unit committed fraud by doing the annual report saying there was no criminal acts in any of the VIP protected units, locations, residences in that year. So that's fraudulent. That's the first thing. Second thing is Ramaphosa perverted the means of justice by using his personal security services to investigate and then collude with Namibian police to kidnap these guys and bring them back to South Africa where they're purportedly tortured. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they claim. All kinds of crime going on there. All kinds of crime going on there. Ramaphosa was informed of the cash hidden in the couch before the Palapala heist. So he knew the money was hidden in the couch. He knew the money was at the ranch, not hidden in the couch. He knew the money was there, and he knew it had not been declared. So let's just go back. So Ramaphosa was informed on the 25th of December that he had $580,000 was undeclared to immigration, to customs, to SARS. And what did he do? Nothing. Nothing. It wasn't until 10 February. Of course the version's fabricated, Carlos. The whole thing is fabricated. It wasn't until 10 February. So they left the money in the sofa from December 30th until February 10th. What kind of morons are they? This is all made up after the fact. These are all, man, I swear, this is unbelievable. Wow. 3 people accused of orchestrating theft pled not guilty. It's alleged that the accused stole $580,000, which supposedly been stuffed in the couch on the property. Yep. Self-proclaimed Diamond Boy Emanuela David, Froliana Joseph, a temporary cleaner at the farm, and her brother David Joseph were accused of playing a pivotal role in the theft in February of 2020. So here we are 5 years later. Ramaphosa's obviously committed customs fraud, SARS fraud, possibly immigration fraud, not to mention possibly perverting the means of justice, and nothing has been done other than Parliament saying you violated no ethics. If you're a Parliament and you believe the people committing these acts haven't violated the ethics of your organization, then you're not a legitimate Parliament. Yep. What's going on with the questions over here? Let me get to the chat and see what's going on. Yes, Peter, it's all a game to them. He's backpedaling as guilty as sin, stupid fool. Yep. I don't hear the loud people. Just wanted to check if I'm a South African citizen to receive PR in New Zealand. Can I apply? Okay, Jared, that doesn't mean anything. What is PR? Permanent residency? If you live in New Zealand, you're not going to come to America as a refugee. Why would you want to come to America? You have a safe haven. It's not an immigration program, Gerhard. It's not an immigration program. It's for people's lives are in jeopardy. Is your life in jeopardy in New Zealand? Or are you in South Africa and you have permanent residency there? See, it's not clear what you're asking me. If you live in South Africa, but you have permanent residency approved in New Zealand, it could affect it. Because the U.S. government say, why are you coming to America? You can go to New Zealand. But I would still put in a statement of interest if I were you, if you're interested. But if you're in New Zealand, I don't know a single case of anybody coming from a third country where they're safe. It doesn't make any sense. It's not an immigration program. Yes, Fitnut, this is a sippy cup for adults. A sippy cup for adults. Yeah, who hides money in their couch? And who leaves it there for 2 months? Or for 6 weeks? It was left there for 6 weeks. That's the bigger issue here, folks. It didn't get put in the bank. It wasn't declared to SARS. It wasn't declared to immigration. It wasn't declared to customs. It was stuffed in a couch for 6 weeks. Sitting in the departure lounge after G27, there will be an internal push to move it. Huh. Well, I don't know what's going to happen to him. Possibility of crowd assisting in Charlie Kirk assassination. I don't know about that. Bevan Amsterdam, thank you for sharing that, though. Maybe. Who knows? Does the sippy cup come with biscuits? No, it doesn't. Not even a chocolate. That's pretty lame. You know, when you buy this, you don't even get a chocolate or a biscuit. So it's kind of lame. Chris says, don't waste time to apply for FG. You'll hear Jack say, well, first off, nobody's applying for FG. Let's get that clear. Stop using the imprecise language, people. Everyone writing to me says they've applied. Nobody's applied. Not unless you've been contacted by RSC or the Amerikaners. You haven't applied. You've stated an interest. You filled out a form and said, I'm interested. That's it. There's no application. You're owed nothing. You've expressed an interest. Frankly, I mean, they should, as a moral courtesy, contact everybody. They don't owe anybody anything. What are you talking about, Charles? Are you behind? Yeah, a guy that hides his money so he can't be trusted with your dollars. You're right about that. Oh, that's why. What kind of country? No biscuits. Yeah, no biscuits, no chocolate, man. It's barbaric. No biscuits, no chocolates. Crazy ass weather. Highways that are clogged, full of people. I wouldn't leave our 8 million just willy-nilly. Limby, I wouldn't leave anything laying around. It'd be in the bank. No doubt about it. Don't bother expressing interest. You're listening to Chris Haylers. Chris, you're too funny, Chris. You're too funny. Let me check on something else here, folks. Okay. Okay, cool. That's taken care of. Something from earlier. All right. Is Chris under the weather again? All right, so back to the news. All right. Manager said Sudanese businessman Hazim Mustafa visited the farm in December 2019 looking to purchase buffalo. Yeah, because people fly from Sudan down to South Africa just to purchase buffalo. He's taken to Camp 6 where the buffalo for sale were kept. Businessman then allegedly chose 20 buffalo. Went to his car and returned with $580,000 in cash. So why is it Mr. Mustafa being charged with a crime? Anything over 30,000 Rand, you have to report. 30,000 Rand, folks. 30,000. Or is it 25? Well, now the rain's really coming down. It's 25 or 30,000 Rand. It's not very much money. So $580,000, Mr. Mustafa clearly committed a crime. Why isn't he being charged with a crime? Yeah, the couch doesn't pay interest. I mean, why has nobody asked that question? Why hasn't Mr. Mustafa been charged with a crime? And the manager, the manager who's the state's witness, why hasn't that person been charged with a crime of not reporting the income? And how many times has this happened? How many times has money been brought to Palapala secretly, avoiding SARS? How many times has Cyril Ramaphosa taken cash payouts like this we don't know about? How many? How many, folks? Dozens? Hundreds? Weekly? Monthly? Annually? Any of them coming from Tehran? Sudan is also a troublemaking country. Wow. Ask that question, folks. Ask yourself that question. This is the one we know about. It's like Joe Biden. What we know about with Joe Biden is that he stole classified documents as a senator, top secret sensitive corporate information, stuffed it in his bag, took the train to Delaware, and then left the crap in his freaking garage sitting next to his Corvette. And also left it in an office where Chinese spies had access to in D.C. at his so-called think tank. Joe Biden thinking? That's an oxymoron if I ever heard one. You always say military intelligence is an oxymoron. No, that's real. Joe Biden think tank, that's an oxymoron. So that's what we know about Joe Biden. How many times over the past 50 years since he's been in Congress and vice president did Joe Biden steal classified information and just leave it laying around? How many programs have we had compromised, and how many people have been able to escape the grasp of justice because of Joe Biden's crimes? We don't know. How much money has been stolen or been imported and paid off to Cyril Ramaphosa? We don't know. We don't know. We don't know. This is just the tip of the iceberg, I suspect. I suspect it's the tip of the iceberg, ladies and gentlemen. And I've said that from the very beginning with Palapala. You don't just have a one-off where some Sudanese business guy from a dodgy country flies into the country in a private plane, shows up, hands over $580,000, and they stuff it in the couch. They burned down the Bush Club, stole the copper pipes. He does not have to declare it to Parliament. Craig Hanslow, I don't care what he declares to Parliament. He has to declare that money to SARS. $580,000 must be declared to SARS and must be declared at customs when you come in the country. Trust me, I know, because I make sure that I never have more than, you're only allowed to have 25 or 30,000 Rand when you come in the country in cash, in equivalents. You can't have any more. I think South Africa allows you to have so much in dollars and so much and that much in Rand. But you cannot bring $580,000, 8 million Rand into the country without declaring it to the government. Without declaring it. It's as simple as that. There's a crime of epic proportions here. And the fact that the Parliament tried to paper over this, and then the media, the fake criminal leftist, lamestream, corrupt media in South Africa let this issue drop for the past couple of years, instead of doggedly staying on top of this issue and asking the question, why aren't these people being charged with these crimes? I mean, there are violations of the law. So I'm not an attorney, but I know the law. How is it that SAPS, how is it that the protection services, how is it the National Prosecuting Authority, how is it that Parliament don't know the law? They do know it. They're covering it up. SARS makes me attack. Why are they not making Squirrel the same? Yeah, exactly. He's not exempt from taxes. Pablo Charlie, I never said he lived in Sudan. I said he's Sudanese. Are you listening? You know, if you've got wax buildup, they make that stuff. You can put it in your ears because I get a lot of wax buildup. You squeeze it in there. You keep your head tilted for a couple minutes while it eats away and softens the wax. Then you tilt your head over like this, let it drain out. You give you a little squeegee thing. You flush out your ear. I said a Sudanese businessman. I didn't say an Emirates or an Arab. I said a Sudanese businessman. I didn't declare where he lived. I didn't say whether he lived in Miami or in Dubai or in Khartoum. I said a Sudanese businessman. Are you not listening? What happened? Something happened to Vincent. Where's Vincent at in here? Hey, Carlos, what's going on? And Sedgefield's back. Good to see you there. Sean Murphy. I don't see the Vincent comment. Will Sartland, did he come? You know, I don't know where he landed. They told us a few years ago, but I've forgotten. JD Vance lives on Charles' channel, jumping between those two lives. I have no idea what you're talking about. Caroline, welcome to you. All right, back to the news, folks. Annika Larson did an interview with a man who paid for Buffalo just after Raposa and vote no confidence. Very flashy guy. Yep. Okay, Annika Larson. I know who that is. Sure do. I know who that is. All right, so Palapala, more of it. Trial has started as the trio pled not guilty in this trial. Well, they didn't stay for hours. They left. That was pretty cool. The money was allegedly stolen from a couch around Poe's property. It wasn't allegedly stolen. We wouldn't have a trial if it was allegedly stolen. I mean, oh, come on. How can the government file charges on a case of stolen money if it's allegedly stolen? It's not alleged. You can say the person accused of it allegedly did it, but you can't say it's allegedly stolen. It did happen. JD Vance is doing the Charlie Kirk podcast. What do you mean? Charlie Kirk is gone. Is he hosting it for one episode or something like that? Oh my goodness, folks. The All Blacks are losing their minds. I want to vomit. All Blacks cop backlash from Legends Media after record loss to the Springboks. The All Blacks have copped heavy criticism after the record 43-10 loss to the Springboks in Wellington. Legendary New Zealand winger John Kirwan said he wanted to vomit. Ex-captain Kieran Reid said something's not right, and former scrum half Justin Marshall suggests the All Blacks should start picking overseas players. Prominent writers in New Zealand media also hit out at the All Blacks. 6-try hammering of South Africa's biggest ever win over New Zealand, eclipsing the 35-7 result at Twickenham in 2023. It's also New Zealand's biggest ever loss in Test rugby, with pressure now intensifying their coach Scott Robertson. John Kirwan told Sports Cafe media he felt physically sick. Too bad. How do you think we felt when we lost 59-0 in Plymouth? Remember that under Alistair Coetzee? There's a bunch of crybabies, man. New Zealand. Look, I mean, I know you're disappointed, but good Lord, we lost 59-0 to you guys. Wow. Former New Zealand scrum half Justin Marshall said it was time for the All Blacks to consider picking players plying their trade abroad. Agreed. That's why we need to take players like Oscar Visa and Cheslin Colby when they're abroad. Yeah, it was all in the cards just recently. Yep, at Eden Park. Fighter jets have intercepted a plane over President Trump's golf club. Oh, okay. This is breaking news, folks. A fighter jets have just intercepted a. Good God, could you just be a little bit louder? Jesus. Loud people. Anyway, so yeah, that's breaking news. Fighter jets have just scrambled to dispatch a plane flying over Trump's golf course. I don't know which one it was. Wow. So Justin Marshall said, I found that when I went over and played overseas, I did learn. I actually felt that the first 2 years I was there, and I left the All Blacks 2005, that British and Irish Lions series, I was a better player than the one that finished against the Lions. Well, I'd agree. I was a more balanced, rounded player because I had to start dealing with things like slow ball, regenerate, get momentum, just as we're used to playing with such quick ball in New Zealand. So I had to be more creative as a 9 and use my forwards a lot more cleverly. I agree with him. He's right about that. That's one reason why Fafka Clerc in his prime was really so good as a scrum half. And Cheslin Colby's been so brilliant because he's exposed to other things and competes against some of the best in the world. Dude, just go order your freaking coffee and quit screaming over there. All right, so hosting right now. Oh, okay. All right. That's odd. I don't think that's appropriate. Alistair Coetzee, yep. Yes, Erica, the Springboks definitely gave the All Blacks a PK of epic proportion. Man, it looks like a freaking hurricane's coming through here now. Wind is blowing hard out there. Wounded Springbok is a dangerous Springbok. Intercepted a plane yesterday over his residence as well. Okay, I didn't know about that yesterday. Thank you, Napoleon. Yeah, exactly, Ingrid. I mean, really, really loud. I lowered my temperature because the place got empty, but this guy comes in basically shouting. I mean, it's... So, I went to anyway, I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that. 294 people here. That's it. My audience has shrank from 1,500 to 294. That sucks. But I'm grateful for the 294 of you that are here. They were made to look like some ill-conceived analog contraption trying to compete with the latest iPhone. Ouch, ouch, ouch. That's Kiwi rugby writer Gregor Paul. Man, rarely, maybe never have the All Blacks been beaten like this. They were annihilated. Self-styled innovation leaders of the world were blown off the park and chunks were taken out of the legacy. Losing doesn't do wholesale damage to the brand, but record defeats do. Yeah, tell me about it. Tell me about it. When it was 59-0, oh, he's not alone. He's got a wife and kid. He's making all that damn noise. And now they cordoned off a section of the coffee shop to clean it, and he just went over and just pick up chairs and move so they can sit down and be comfortable where they want to sit. Wow. Wow. And the Americans are the ones that are rude. Yeah, okay. That's been I mean, look, I've always known better, but it's been a clear lesson this time around. I mean, yeah, a very clear lesson here. England isn't England anymore. And the people coming from all over the world don't have the same mannerisms and customs and courtesies that most of us have. Anonymous says, love it. Well, thank you, Anonymous. I appreciate it. For 300 people currently here. Police in top brass have reversed dismissal of 74 cops, Jan Gerber reports, including rapist, corruption accused. Provincial commissioners and divisional heads overturned the recommended dismissals of 74 police, including those accused of severe misconduct like rape and corruption. What about those who threaten the lives of South African citizens? Like the guy who claims to be a cop and lives in Wartburg and threatened the life of Rob Hersoff. Has he been dismissed? Has anyone filed a complaint with the captured South African Human Rights Commission? Oh God, man! I tell you what. When we were kids, that didn't happen. You're taken outside, and you're. Anyway, the world has gone to shit. Mannerisms are just out the window. It's just, I don't know, and it's everywhere. It's not just here. It was in South Africa. Saw the same thing in the States. You know, I can't go to Walmart with somebody without somebody's little heathen running around screaming. No parenting whatsoever. 20, you know, as if we all want to listen to that. In 2019, a police disciplinary committee recommended dismissal of a sergeant accused of rape in Springbok. But the Northern Cape Provincial Commissioner at the time, Risimati Shivuri, changed the disciplinary action against the sergeant to a 1-month suspension without pay. Well, was he guilty of rape? That's the question, because that was in 2019. Wow. What is going on with South Africa's police? They commit all kinds of crimes and they just get screwed. Well, Joan, I hope you took your kids outside instead of, subjecting people to that. That's just rude. Yeah, the studio, Bob. And I don't have Peter Rabb with me today. I left him back in my room, so I don't have Peter Rabb with me. But I'm way behind today, folks. Plus, I slept in. I was exhausted. Like I said, 2 hours and 40 minutes to go 79 miles from Exeter to Bristol. It was insane. I mean, basically sitting there the whole time. Stop, go, stop, sit, 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 sit. It's insane. And there wasn't a single accident. Not one accident. Not one accident caused that delay. It's crazy. Oh, Joan says I wouldn't try that. We wouldn't either, man. Stronger than cappuccino. Yeah, I need some whiskey. Ben thinks that Europe is going to turn back to God. I don't think so. One of the first things I noticed when I went to Europe back in the 1980s, or the mid-1980s when I joined the Army, and I went to Germany for my first tour, one of the first things I noticed is that, by contrast, there's a lady and gentleman sitting over here. You can barely hear them. They've been here since before I got here. I was like, wow, the Europeans must be such deep Christians, such deep people of faith, because they have all these cathedrals and all these magnificent churches. And I go to all these places. And guess what? Nobody was there. You go on a Sunday for service, and a couple old ladies, and that's about it. They're heathens. They're heathens. The number of Christians left in Europe is dramatically reduced. The atheists and the heathens that just abound in Europe, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Yeah, it's insane. They lost their way. They lost their path to God. They lost their path to morality. And they lost their countries because the leftist governments gave it over to people that have no business being in the country. You don't see a million people sitting in Karachi, do you, from England? Now, you see them in the Costa Brava, that's a different story. And the Spanish can blame themselves for that. But they liked all the money coming in, so they let all the British pour into there. So, yeah. And you can blame the South Africans for letting all the Brits pour into the Western Cape. Yeah, they let them all pour in the Western Cape. Colonel Cookie blames the French. Well, the French bear some of the responsibility, but the Germans bear a lot. Angela Merkel is the greatest traitor to Germanness ever. She's on par with betraying Germany the same way Hitler did. Yes, those kids are trying my patience. It's very annoying. It's raining outside, so I can't sit out there. Well, Anson, I'm glad it doesn't bother you, but I find it very distracting when I'm trying to concentrate. Kids were seen and not heard. Exactly. It wasn't necessarily a good thing. Exactly. You got clipped. Ohrfeige. Ohrfeige. Auf Deutsch sagt man Ohrfeige. What happened to the sophisticated boy? Oh, no. Oh, and the queues? Exeter yesterday, the queues. The first time I came to the UK, I was in Oxford. And I went walking down the street, and all these people were standing in a straight line. Like 30 people. And I'm like, why are they standing in the street on the sidewalk? And I looked up, and it was a bus stop. Every one of them came and orderly got in line. At Exeter yesterday, I mean, when I came for the World Cup, people stood in lines, proper queues. When I was there yesterday, people just everywhere. I'm like, is this the queue? Is this queue? Is this queue? It's all out the window. It's all out the window. Now, there are still elements of that British culture, English culture left. There's still elements of it left. You can find it. I found it the other day in some backwoods towns that are overwhelmingly English, as opposed to everywhere else I go, which is overwhelmingly not English, where people still have those English mannerisms. But yeah. Cookie, the vibe, I don't know. It's hard to say because the media are lying about it and falsely covering it. So, I mean, so it's interesting because I've never really had a conversation with people who are right of center or center in the UK, but this time I've had a lot of conversation with people. Oh, that guy is also pissing me off. He's on his phone over there, screaming into his phone. I don't know how the protest was in London. Tommy Robinson claims 3 million people. The media claim 100,000 people. The police say 110,000 people. Tommy Robinson had some company that flew over the march over, was it London Bridge or Tower Bridge? It's Tower Bridge. And is claiming there's 3 million people. I saw it. That's not 3 million people. It's also not 100,000. So the truth is somewhere in the middle. But that's a big middle. 100,000 to 3 million. Somebody's lying. Good God. You know, if I owned a business like this, I'd ask these people to leave. Yeah, and get arrested. Exactly, Phil. Exactly. Because you hurt their feelings. They're acting like asses, and I'd be hurting their feelings. That's how things are in the UK now. Yep, that's how things are in the UK. Yeah, Charles, there's a crap load of people. I would not go for. Yeah, same here, Charles. I mean, I only saw partial footage and from one snap at the time, so I don't know how it was. I didn't watch the whole thing. Oh, boy. All right, so the police, that's where he left off at. No student left behind. Now the staff are dragging the chairs. No student left behind. Mana Mela outlines readiness for the 2026 academic year. Higher Education and Training Minister Bhuti Manamela, never even heard of him, didn't know he was a minister, says the department is working to ensure that the academic year begins fairly on time without unnecessary barriers and without white students. He spoke at Pretoria today. He said readiness was not, oh my God. Can you hear that? Yeah, the toilets will be quieter. Anyway. So apparently the rand is holding its own on the expectation the U.S. is going to finally cut rates. It strengthened to 17.32 against the dollar, keeping it levels seen 10 months ago. Rand has gained 1.4% over the past week. Wow. But we'll see how long that lasts. We'll see how long that lasts. Well, I can complain all I want, Dylan. That one isn't. That one's actually, I think, English. No, that one's English. The noisy one now is English, but the others are exactly what you said. Exactly, Lynette. And they say Americans are loud and obnoxious, but that's what I've been seeing here. What I've also seen here is that some Brits go out of their way to interject themselves in your conversation, and they're very rude. Very rude. Like when I was in Windermere, and there's no one in the queue, and there's no one at the till, and I come around the corner where there's no line because they have a thing, because apparently you get long lines in summertime. I walk up and I start walking up to the door, and the guy says, "Can I help you, sir?" I said, "No, I'm fine. I'm just going to go to the till." "We have to get in a queue." And I stopped and I looked and I'm like, "I am the queue. There's no one here." "You know, you have to stand there." I said, "I have to stand there, but the till's over there." "You have to wait until the till's free." I said, "There's 2 tills. There's nobody at them." And they got all pissy. And then I walked inside, and then he was talking to some woman sitting there with a pram talking about me, because the people behind me told me about it. They said, "Oh yeah, they're out there talking about you." Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. You know, I never said that before about Brits, but this time I've met so many you give a Brit a safety vest or a whistle, and oh my God, they think they're freaking Adolf Hitler. Arrogant little functionaries. And then when I was in Sunderland for the first game, oh my goodness, they wouldn't let me leave. There was no one out there. They wouldn't open the lot. They said, "No, you can't open the lot until after the game." I came out 45 minutes before the game ended so I could leave and get back to my crappy hotel. And like, "You can't leave." I said, "Why?" "Because they shut the parking lot down." "Why?" "Because there's people here." I said, "There's nobody here. There's nobody here." Then I sat there and watched as thousands of people left the stadium. Then all the buses left the stadium, and they drove. While there are people walking out the same exit, and I wasn't the only one. There were like 40 people there. They were pissed, and they went over and said some stuff to the guy. But then the guy gave me crap when I left. He was pissed off at me. I was polite and asked him a question. But these people went over and said some profanity to him, and he got pissed off at me. So when I left the parking lot, I had the window down. I said, "Have a lovely evening." You should have seen the shitty look on his face. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. Asshole. I had to sit there for another hour after the game. So an hour and a half I sat there waiting to leave. Ruined my experience. Already the Eagles got slaughtered, so maybe worse. Andrew Feinstein's about white South Africans speaking Zulu. Why should white South Africans speak Zulu? Do Xhosa speak Zulu? Do the Ndebele speak Zulu? Do the Basotho speak Zulu, generally speaking? Do the Venda? Do the Tswana? Why should white South Africans speak Zulu? Shove it. The Rand and BRICS partners will be placed in a great financial pressure. Yes, they will, Ben. Give a low IQ Brit some power, and it goes, exactly, Hendo. Hendo knows. He lives here. He knows. He knows. Anyway, so Thursday, if anybody's listening, Katie, if you're here, my profound apologies. I don't know if you made it out there, but I never saw you. I was there until 9:30. Neil, if you're interested, on Thursday evening, I will do a meet and greet at my hotel at the airport. Let me just double check here. Make sure I give you the right one, because there's more than one there. So hang on a second here. This guy will not shut up. Will not shut up. I swear he will not shut up. Where is it at, man? I should have been more recent one here. Should be after that. Well, I can't find it here. Okay. I think it's a Sheraton. Good thing I wrote it down, because I can't find the email. That's why it's in the inbox. All right, so yeah, it's the Sheraton Skyline Hotel, London Heathrow. Okay, Bath Road, Thursday evening. Okay, Thursday evening. If anybody wants to join me there, I'll do a meet and greet. I'll be downstairs in the sports bar. They got a sports bar. How's that? Anybody wants to come to London Heathrow Thursday for a meet and greet, I'll be there. My 3 meet and greet attempts have all failed. I said Rotherham when I was up north, nobody showed. Then I said, what's the other one? I did the second one, nobody showed. And then I did the one in Exeter, nobody showed. So, anyway. So it's there if anybody wants to come, and I'll post it. All right. Anyway. I hope all goes well with your meet and greet. Well, I hope so too. It'd be nice. We're bulletproof. Yeah, exactly. Well, it's a public place, so. Oh, Relocating just gave 40 Rand. Clouds, well, they're already gathered, but the super chats are gathering now. Thank you for that super chat. That's the first one. First one in the stream. Thank you so much for that. Late fee. Another square meter of lawn. You trying to claim my yard? Too far away, says expat family Joubert. Well, expat family Joubert, I was in Sunderland. I was in Leeds. I was in Sheffield area. I was in Exeter. I was all over the place, and everywhere I'm at, people say I'm too far away. Then I'm back at the place where they were before. Kathy says a bit too far. Well, the problem is you guys got to be more explicit with me and tell me where I need to be. You know, people just saying too far away doesn't help. Well, okay, Cape Town. Come on, get serious. That is a bit too far. The bugger off bunny is at home. I didn't want to lose him, so So I bought a Peter Rabbit to replace him on this trip, and I don't have Peter Rabbit with me today. David says, we appreciate your patience. Well, thank you. Here where I stay, that more than half of the white people speak Zulu. Well, yeah, Lawrence, a lot of people do speak Zulu. A lot of white folks that live in KZN speak Zulu. Not too many in Gauteng speak Zulu, even though it's the most widely spoken language there, first language. So, yeah. People are going to smoke you out. No, they can't smoke there in the hotel. Well, the kids finally shut up and they're getting ready to leave. You know what? All the people apart from you are complaining about the noise. It sounds like that in South Africa. Nice public places, and you guys, it's really so. If you have time, it might be worth visiting. No, Bevan and Amsterdam. I'm no longer in Exeter. It took me 3 hours to escape Cornwall last night. 79 miles, 2 hours and 40 minutes just to get to Bristol. By the way, I think that's where the semifinal is going to be at in Bristol. Yeah. So next weekend, it'll be France. So Ireland really choked bad. They had a 13-0 lead at halftime, and they lost 42-27, I think was the final. Yeah. And but still, the Women's World Cup quarterfinals were really impressive, all but one of the games. The Canada game was a blow-up, but the rest of them were very impressive. Scotland nearly beat England, the best team in the world. They nearly beat them. 16-15 was the score. I did say that there were some scary things about this English team that maybe put them vulnerable in this World Cup. It didn't look that way against the Americans, but it looked that way later on. And now they were nearly beaten by Scotland. Scotland was not impressive at all with the women. So England moves on, and then France moves on after beating France beat Ireland yesterday. So France moves on, and after France and Ireland move on, France and England move on, you also got New Zealand moving on, and then because they beat the Lady Bucks. But the Lady Bucks had a 10-10 halftime. That was incredible first half. So some very competitive. 10-10 first half. Ireland against France, 13-0 Ireland at halftime. And then the final score for England-Scotland was 16-15. That's amazing. I mean, those are three very competitive games. The Canada game was a complete blowout. So Canada, I guess Canada will play England next week. Tough, number 1, number 2 team of the world. Have to knock it out to move on to the final. And then France will play New Zealand, if I'm not mistaken. I have to look at it, but I think that's what it is. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Canada has a very good team. But the men's World Cup, the USA beat Samoa and got the last spot left. So they didn't get number 1, number 2. World Rugby screwed this all. We compete now as a Pacific nation. We're not a Pacific nation. Yes, I know our government says we're a Pacific nation. We're not. But there's no longer North America, South America competition. We all compete as a Pacific nation, even though half of our water surface is in the Atlantic for both the South America and North America. But we compete in the Pacific. So we have to compete against Japan and Fiji and New Zealand. That's hardly fair. Those are 3 automatics. You're never going to defeat them. So USA got the last slot available, and they're in the World Cup. And oh, by the way, guess who the team captain was, ladies and gentlemen? Those who watch my program for a long time remember Jason Dahm, the young guy who played for Atlanta. And I covered him. I interviewed Jason, very nice young fellow. And I said, you're going to be an Eagle. They need to call you up. And I said, I'll talk to Gary Gold. Well, he eventually got called up. Then he got injured, and he came back down. He was the captain. They were trailing 13-8 late in the game. They scored 3 late tries, and they beat Samoa 29-13 to advance to the Rugby World Cup. So they'll be going to Australia in 2027. Good news, because USA missed out in France in 2023, so they'll be back. They need to win a game now or two in the next World Cup. That's exciting stuff. So also, there was some really good rugby for me results. Of course, the Springboks we talked about on Saturday, they destroyed the All Blacks. But beyond that, the Griquas destroyed the Cheetahs, and they will play now at Ellis Park on Saturday for the Currie Cup Championship. I think the Lions have the upper edge. They just destroyed the Griquas recently, so I hope that somehow the Lions screw up and they don't win, and the Griquas win this thing. I'd love to see them. They haven't won since 1970. It would be amazing to see them win. Shot his wife twice in the head. Okay, what's that all about? Okay, I may have it wrong. I may have it wrong at the pool. So let me just go World Rugby and see what I got here. See if I got a connection here. The internet's a little bit faster now. It got slow there for a little bit. I don't know why. So I'm sorry. Maybe I got it wrong. Let's take a look. All right, quarterfinals are done. Let's go to semifinals. All right, you're right. New Zealand plays Canada, France plays England. That's better. Canada can beat New Zealand. New Zealand is vulnerable, very vulnerable. The Lady Box proved that. Two Afrikaners play for the Eagles. Yeah, Hanko Hermeshuis and Ruben de Haas. I know, and I've interviewed both of them. I know Hanko personally. Hanko, I knew, but I haven't seen him in the lineup. Did he play this weekend? Bet Haynes, 70 Rand Super Chat. Thank you. I saw Hanko in Japan. I met his mom. Yep, and hung out with her at the France game when they played France in Japan. So it was, yeah, that's right. Saturday or Friday. Oh, Friday, 7 p.m. this time. That means I'm going to miss the game because 7 p.m. here is going to be 2 p.m. on the East Coast. I won't be home yet, so I'm going to miss this game. Damn it, it is Canada, New Zealand. And then on Saturday, it's England, France. France look vulnerable too. England, France, and New Zealand all look vulnerable. Right now, my favorites are Canada. And given Canada plays the Black Ferns, I think the Canadians can advance to the final again like they did in 2014 in Paris. But they lost to England there. All right, so there you go. Cool beans. Cool beans. That's exciting stuff. So, Ben Haynes, thank you for the 70 Rand. Appreciate that. Get some more young bookies over. And yeah, exactly. A landlord of mine always used to say, manners makes the man rub off. Ladies USA team looks very good. High hopes. Ben, they're out of it. They looked very good after the England game against Australia, but they could have won the game against Australia, but they couldn't make conversions. And then on top of that, they look great in their final game, but they've looked better in the past. I was very disappointed in Alev Kelter. She's a fantastic player, one of the best in the world, and she hurt us badly in the England game. Not that it would have made a difference, but it's when the game got away from us with a stupid yellow card. She never should have been reaching around from the ruck for that ball, and then she dropped the ball after that. And so instead of going into halftime 28-14, it was like 35-7. It was not pretty. Andres, I'm not having a great time. I was having a good time, but again, I'm pretty bummed out because I dropped my phone and I smashed the screen, and I just don't do things like that. So it really kind of put a damper on my experience. Came back after working overseas and found her phone suggesting she was cheating on him. So his answer was to shoot her? Jeez. Passion killings. Why? No man or woman is worth that. Get divorced. Walk away. Nothing's worth that. Nothing's worth that, folks. Just walk away. Walk away. I mean, what do you hope to accomplish there? All right, back to the news, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to hit the like button if you're here. We lost a little bit of our audience here. I'm a little frustrated. Monday was our big day. We've not had a big audience at all. Not had a big audience at all. And I came on at the normal time. I said 5 o'clock. I'm on at 5 o'clock. And so where's everybody at? Barlow World gets Namibian approval for management-led buyout. The long stop date for the offer has been extended to December. The Namibian Competition Commission has granted unconditional approval for the standby offer by Barlow World, its management, to acquire the company shares. So Barlow World Namibia is buying out all the shares. Well, Malawi, the warm heart of Africa, has got some elections coming up. They'll vote for the next president, members of parliament, and local councillors on September 16th. That's tomorrow, after 5 years of increasing economic hardship compounded by natural disasters. Remember all those tropical storms that came in? Man. One of the world's poorest countries, Malawi, his economy has stagnated since the elections in 2020. The World Bank has forecasted economic growth of just 2% this year. Fourth year in a row, the population expanded faster than its economy. Kind of like South Africa. with 0.9 GDP growth this year. The population is definitely growing at more than 0.9%. An IMF program was terminated in May after failing to restore macroeconomic stability. So Malawi is in trouble. Inflation is at over 20%. Corruption has become widespread. Hunger and failed harvest, fuel shortages. It sounds like the Malawi I know. Well, Ebola vaccination program has begun in the DRC by the World Health Organization. They began vaccinating frontline health workers and contacts of people infected with Ebola virus in the DRC, Kasai province. The WHO said an initial 400 doses of the Ervibo Ebola vaccine from the country's stockpile of 2,000 doses has been delivered to Bulape, which is where the outbreak's epicenter was. Yep. It's the first Ebola outbreak in 3 years, but Ebola hides in a reservoir. We're still not aware. I saw someone claiming it's bats, but we've never proven that. A U.S. judge is questioning the deportation of criminal alien invaders from West Africa to Ghana. The lawsuit claims Trump's scheme aims to evade immigration laws. A judge in the U.S. on Saturday said it appeared President Trump's administration intentionally to circumvent immigration laws to deport Nigerian and Gambian migrants to Ghana. Judge Tanya Chutkan, from the old Anglo-Saxon Chutkan family, based in D.C., scheduled an emergency hearing after lawyers representing some of the migrants. They're not migrants, they're criminal alien invaders. Stop using false language. Felix, 140 Rand. Clouds are dissipating a little bit, but super chats are coming. Thank you for that. What are the chances of USA going to war with Russia? Slim to none, Erica. Slim to none. War with Russia means the end of civilization. It's not going to happen. Okay? They're not migrants, they are criminals. They want to move to their home countries. Well, then they can get on a plane and fly their little sorry asses back to their own home countries. No one asked them to invade America. Part of Trump's strategy is to send migrants to third countries. Chutkan said it appeared the Trump administration crafted deals a way to make an end run around U.S. legal requirements that refrain from sending migrants in danger to their home countries. They're not in danger. It's safe to live in Nigeria. It's safe to live in Gambia. Go home. 220 million people live safely in Nigeria. What's your problem? Well, not 220 million, about 200 million. Some of them are in serious danger. I must say I miss Malawi's, their awesome rice, and of course the awesome people. Yeah, no, USA minion to be. People in Malawi are pretty cool. I enjoy it. I love the Shire country, but it is a poor country. The 5 plaintiffs had, why is this table so, it's not stable, I don't know what the deal is. The 5 plaintiffs had U.S. legal protection against deportation to their home countries. One migrant, a bisexual man, has been sent to the Gambia and was in hiding. The other 4 have been held in squalid conditions in an open-air detention facility operated by the Ghanaian military. Well, you shouldn't have invaded America. You have no standing for a court in America. Dismiss the case. This judge is corrupt. Well, Algeria's Tebboune appoints a new prime minister and energy minister. Algerian President Abdelmajid Tebboune appointed Sifi Grib as the country's new prime minister and Mourab Adjal as minister of energy and renewable energy in a cabinet reshuffle. Garib, who is industry minister, had been serving as acting prime minister since Tebboune ended the tenure of Nadir Larboui. Adjel was the CEO of Algeria's state power firm Sonagaz. Yep, so, God bless it, this table is so annoying. Put my foot down here, then maybe, there we go, now it won't tilt. Put my foot on there. Anyway, so, getting on with more news here. Cyril Ramaphosa tells the ANC that DA municipalities are run better. Learn from them. President Ramaphosa admitted that it pained him that the DA-led municipalities always outperform the ANC ones in delivering services, urging party councillors to up their game. Addressing ANC's roll call for councillors events at FMB Stadium in Soweto, Ramaphosa told the party members to learn from other municipalities that are run in better ways than they are. I can name it here because there's nothing wrong with competition. They are often DA-controlled municipalities. We need to ask ourselves, what is it they're doing that is better than what we're doing? Well, they're hiring competent people, not useless turds because of their skin color or because of their ethnic affiliation. Thank you, Loretta. Said I'm appreciated for everything I do. Well, I hope so. I have my detractors. People don't like me. No, I'm almost the only one in the shop. Just the loud guy still here. Yep. He added that they should learn from their craft to move up the ladder, saying we cannot forever stay at the bottom. Well, that would have been nice to talk about 31 years ago, not now. How many lives have been destroyed? How many kids were born with HIV unnecessarily? How many people have gone hungry because of the ANC? How many people have lost their jobs? How many people have been openly discriminated? How many people have been murdered because of their skin color because of the ANC? He said the ANC should deploy capable people to run government. No. You think so, Cyril? ANC should deploy capable people to run government? What a concept. Where'd you come with that idea? Our country is not short of people understand numbers. It's not short of people understand accounting. Let's go and get people understand it. What you can, Cyril, because those people are white, colored, and Indian, and we know that you're not going to hire them. You go get the people. Well, the people are there. They had to go to France and go to the UK and go to New Zealand, Australia, Japan, USA because they couldn't get jobs because they were white or colored or Indian. You fired them all. You racists got rid of all of them in education, in ESCOM, at SAA, at Transnet. Seriously, Cyril? Oh, my goodness. If you wanted capable people, you could have done a long time ago. This is just trying to paper over the disaster the ANC has created. That's what's going on here. But it is entertaining to see Cyril Post say that. Andrew Kerr got a call today. Congratulations. Zuma's daughter slams Mkoto Sizwe party, calls it existence unfortunate. She pledges loyalty to the ANC. Tukile Zuma distanced herself from the MK party, founded by her father. Wow. Tukile Zuma, daughter of former President Jacob Zuma and African National Congress member Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, has criticized the MK party, describing its existence as unfortunate and questioning its ideological direction. Wow. Wow. I'm a member of the RTT of the ANC, so I'm a very small fish in the pond of the ANC. I'm not a national leader, and I leave that to the national leaders, she said. That's a regional task team. She said the MK party, formed 2023 after her father's fault with the ANC, operates as an opposition party in Joburg. How we relate to the MK party in Joburg, they are an opposition party which we're going to if we have been defeated in all elections, in elections all over the show. That just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, to be honest with you, I'm not sure what their policies are. Neither are we. They don't really have a platform. They're just bum-hurt ANC members. That's all they are. So she's right. Tukutile Zuma. Thank you for sharing that, ma'am. Appreciate your review on that. First needs to fix the crime so accountants are safe. Yeah, no, look, the ANC's turned South Africa into a gangster state, letting gangsters run the country. It's really sad, really sad. Okay, 1,081 white engineers were fired from ESCOM and replaced with black and colored employees. When was that? Over time or 1 year? I'm aware of the numbers, but what was the time frame? You should also look into science universities, which is not important. They grant degrees in alternative subjects. Economics, I suppose, also not important. Math is a mess. Yeah. I come here for the news, Colonel. Appreciate it. Says Andre. You're very welcome, Andre. Thank you for being here. Okay, the clouds have dissipated. The super chats have ended. We're still here. My mouse is working now. It was sticking last night. I don't know what happened. I must have something sticky on it. Now it's working perfectly fine. Thought I was going to have to buy a new mouse. I already had to buy a new phone. And I'm going to try to fix the other phone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to order a screen for it when I get home and do the repair myself for the old phone. And I'll have that one too. But this one's pretty nice. This is an A17. I got this one here in the UK. It was on sale, on offer, as the Brits like to say, and I got 20 pounds off of it. And this just came out. Oops, I thought I cracked it. No, that's just dirt. It just came out like a month ago, 3 weeks ago when I bought it. So yeah, so this will be my new backup phone. But my main phone now I can't see the time because the screen is all crushed up there, and then there's a line down the middle over here where it's fluttering. It's very distracting. So yeah, this one's pretty good for a backup phone. It's dual SIM, unlocked, and it's pretty good. It's got like a 50 megapixel camera on it. Lorette sent me ran. Clouds are gathering big time, Colonel. Time for returning. Soon you'll have many refugees in the U.S. to interview. Will I? Well, I'll be back in the U.S. soon. Oh, look at the sun coming out, man. Look at that. Those clouds are moving at least 30 knots per hour, if not faster. I can see them floating across the sky. There's some dark clouds lower that have lost most of the water vapor, so they're getting thin and patchy. Not Apache, but patchy. And then through it, I can see the white clouds above that, cumulus clouds that are clear. Yep. So when I get back, I'm going to Idaho, to Twin Falls, Idaho, folks. I'll be out in Idaho. My intent is to go from Idaho to Salt Lake and then up to Star Valley in Wyoming. So I'll be gone for about a week out there. So I'm doing a documentary with CakeNet, and then I'll be doing some stuff of my own. So with any luck, I'll meet Courtney McBride. We'll see how that goes. And anyone else that's out there. Oh my! He's on another call. Okay. Some people don't realize how loud they are when they get headphones on. I know as a kid, I used to put headphones in, I would sing and like, hey, shut up. You're too loud. I'm like, I didn't hear myself. I was a little kid. Got smacked for that.
I'll try.
Yeah, Utapi, that's true, but maybe I can find a place around here, but the main place to fix things, Any feedback on the pet relocations? Andre, I was supposed to talk to Morgan, and she was sick, and so I agreed to talk to her last night, and I couldn't talk to her last night because I was stuck in traffic, and then I was knackered and fell asleep and kind of forgot about the call. I wrote to her this morning and told her I'd talk to her before the stream, but then I got stuck in traffic trying to get to the coffee shop. It took an extra 20 minutes to get here. So I wrote to her, and I'll be talking to her after this stream. Also, I'm waiting to hear back from CBS News. They contacted me about something urgent. I don't know what that was. But they want to talk to me, and then I haven't heard. I know they read the message, but I haven't heard back from them. So anyway, yeah, so I got some phone calls to do after this stream is over. So anyway, how are we doing? 287 people here, 329 likes, and some super chat cash is rolling in too. Garrett counts for 1,000. 1,000 what? Well, here in the Department of Agriculture, a lot of people are retiring. It will take forever to fill positions. If they do, and we don't know if competent person will fill a position. Do you maybe any feedback on the... Okay, that was Andrew. No, Andrew, I don't. I'm trying to get some. And then USA Minions just gave 70 Rand for the clouds are gathering. The clouds are gathering. Tata, tata, the clouds are gathering. Ooh, thunder, thunder, thunder. You're very welcome, Andrew. I know some people are very brief. That's why I keep doing this, folks. I do this at great personal sacrifice. Don't cry for me, Argentina. I'm not asking for any empathy or sympathy. It's my choice to do it. But I do it at a cost, a personal cost, and a time cost. Look, the only thing that we have that is ours. In the clothes, you can buy things, you can own things, you can hook up with someone, you can have offspring, you can have a family, you can do all that. But the only thing that's yours, that's truly finite, that you don't know when the end date is your time. It's your time, ladies and gentlemen. And I've always realized that since I was a young man. But and it's always something I talk about and I share in my program. But when Leah Menard passed last week, right after my stepfather passed away, it really struck home because Leah, as I recall, was the lady who was robbed last year in her wheelchair. And they took all her money out of her bank card at gunpoint. And so we raised money for her, and it helped her out because it took her life savings, and we were able to replace that because I have a very generous audience. And that was before we had this big audience we have now. Imagine if we'd had 100,000 subscribers when that happened. We only had about 19,000 when they were helping Lee out. So, sorry, that's very distracting. So she passed away. Her daughter wrote to me and told me that in her last few years, she found great joy and great comfort in my program. And so that's why I do this, folks. There's Erica. How are the FEMA tents doing? Well, I have cameras on my property and crew serve automatic weapons mounted there. Remember that movie Congo where they had the laser guns blowing apart the great apes? That's in my yard. I got that. Yep. Yeah, I bought that. So thank you, Erica. And then Debbie, thank you for your patience. 140 Rand. Thank you for that. That's awesome. Thank you guys very much for that. Thanks for sharing your time with us. You're welcome, Sandra. Next one to... Okay, Chris, stop that. Stop that. Hang in there. Chris, by the way, are you available for that interview next week? Probably Tuesday. Tuesday would be the best day for me, or maybe this Sunday. And we'll do the interview. Chris wants to do an interview about transgenderism. 100 Mustard says, one more for you, a true legend and honest, and thank you. You're welcome. So Kirk Darren wrote a song about me, Gayest and Legend. No, he did. He did about his dad. It's about his dad. Anyway. Any day we find, says Chris. Okay, well, we'll get ready for it. Right there, and right there, my underground bunker. Yeah, if you can dig in my backyard, then you can stay there, okay? When I tried to plant 2 freaking apple trees in my backyard about 6 years ago, I broke a shovel because the ground was so hard. It was like digging into concrete, and it wasn't rock. It's just that's how hard the soil was. I broke a shovel, man. It is hard. If you can dig in my yard, then you're welcome to stay there. Oh my goodness, that is some hard soil. I'm telling you, folks, that is some hard soil. Okay, so now on to the UK. Top Keir Starmer aide resigns over explicit Diane Abbott messages and further blow to his politics. Wow. Number 10, Director of Strategy resigns over revelation about sexually explicit comments about Diane Abbott in private email. Keir Starmer has been hit with a fresh Downing Street resignation. Paul Ovenden has resigned as Director of Strategy over revelations first published in the Mail that in 2017 made sexually explicit comments about Diane Abbott in a private message. Who's Diane Abbott? She's 71. He graphically recounted the conversation in which two women described performing sex acts on her. Okay. The male understands that Mr. Ober didn't add a exchange mails with a former colleague in 27 in which he retold a story about a game of shag, marry, kill involving Miss Abbott. Who the heck is Diane Abbott? I don't even know who that is. I guess because I'm not a Brit. That name doesn't ring any bells. Let's take a look. The internet's working now. Member of Parliament. Oh, that woman. Yeah, okay, I recognize her. I didn't realize it was... Ugh. She's 71 years old. She's been a member of Parliament since 1987. First black woman elected to the UK Parliament. That's why, okay, the name just threw me off. Diane Abbott. Anyway, so he resigned over that. Well, that isn't smart. That's not smart at all. Interesting. All right, let me get back to the chat very quickly, then we'll get on with the news again. Car guards can do anything. Yeah, the car guard song, man. Nothing a pick and shovel can't dig through. Well, I got a pick. That's how I eventually got in the ground, but the soil is poor. I've fertilized a couple times, but my trees don't do very well. But they do produce some apples. It's not very big. Were you able to find out more about the anecdotes you mentioned last week regarding refugees being told in interviews that they don't care? No, I haven't heard back on that. I've reached out to a couple sources and I haven't gotten. So here's what I think is going to happen. Okay, I was going to make a video on it, so I'm going to share it with that right now since you asked that question. Okay, what I think has happened, I have no evidence. It's just analysis of the limited information I have. I think it's what is happening is that right now, and I know for a fact that there is a screw up in the Trump administration. There are officials that are trying to process as many refugees as they can before the end of the year, which is just 15 days away. They're trying to process as many by then to get them to the States so they can show progress. Look, we brought this many people over. We're working hard because someone cocked up and screwed this whole thing up. So someone's job is on the line, or at least they think it is. So that's why the sudden surge and all these people getting screened, which has caused more chaos and confusion for the people who don't get screened, who already got called. But what I think is happening with this past persecution is that they're focusing on that because if you've got a case of past persecution, then the leftists can't, in America and in Congress, can't say, well, you're just bringing these people over because they're white. I mean, anybody could claim to have a future fear. I mean, they've just articulated. Of course, the law says that's all that's needed. But we know that the leftists don't care about the law. They just ignore the law. And they've said so in the press. They just, these people are not persecuted. It doesn't matter whether they're persecuted. You can never been a victim of persecution ever and still come as a refugee if you have a legitimate fear of future persecution. If you're a homosexual in Syria, I've covered this. If you're gay in Syria, you can come over because they'll hang you from a yardarm or from a tree or drop you off a building to your death because you're gay. So we don't wait until after you're dead to give you refugee status. We let you go before because you can articulate a genuine fear of persecution. All right? So I think that's what's going on. I don't know, but I believe what's happening is they're only asking for those right now. They're saying, well, we just want to know if you had a past case. And if they have a past case, I bet those people are going, I suspect they're going to the front of the queue. That's my suspicion. Until I have confirmation from a source, I don't know if that's the case. But once again, let me ask you this question. How many things I've been wrong about in this refugee program? How many? Now, we have distractors and liars and fakes and frauds and charlatans that claim I've been wrong about everything, but they got their head up their ass on what they're talking about. And when they try to prove me wrong, we just expose them for what they are and show the truth. Anyway, but I haven't been wrong about much, if anything, in this program, and that's without any information from the U.S. government. They release almost nothing. They've been so opaque in this process. So I don't know that that's correct, and I'm not trying to make that claim as if, hey, I'm saying this case, but it's the only thing that makes sense to me. The only thing that makes sense to me at this stage, why they were doing it, because I've heard it from a lot of people. Dozens of people, probably 60 people have contacted me already and said, hey, they don't want to talk to me about my articulation of a future concern. They just want to know about past persecution. So people don't have an instance of past persecution are panicking now. Don't panic. Don't panic. I suspect they're just trying to get people over quickly. Phoenix says, been right every time. Thank you. Yeah, Carolyn. And you would think that because of that alone, I would have 250,000 subscribers just for the refugee program. Look for the Charles. I haven't put it up because I had no internet and I got busy. And then it broke my phone. And so that was kind of pissed me off. So I haven't put it up yet. I'll put the Charlie song up. And I couldn't remember the damn program that I put my damn stuff on. I was trying to load it the other night and I couldn't remember it. And then I had to go get something to eat and then I broke my phone because I was distracted and it hurt my arm. Or I banged my arm into my leg. So Mr. Noisy has departed. I'm the only person here now. I'm the only person in the coffee shop. All right, ladies, this is my coffee shop now. I'm the only one here. It's my coffee shop. I'm the only one here now. I articulate very well my imminent fear. They did not try to break into my house. Forgot all about that until I asked. Yep. Okay. That is why I can't understand about the gay people supporting these Free Palestine groups. No, because they're stupid wrecks. Look, we have a lot of stupid people, a lot of privileged little turds that grew up with everything handed to them. Mommy, I want an iPhone. Mommy, I want this. Mommy, I want that. Mommy, I want this. Given all of it. Mommy, I want to study queer studies at university. Mommy, I want to study feminist studies at university. And they go and waste tens, hundreds, thousands of dollars getting an education that's useless that you can't use for anything, when they could have become geologists or engineers, mechanical or electrical engineers. They could have become doctors or lawyers or something useful. Nope, queer studies. Nope. Women's studies, yep. Mommy, I want an iPhone. Meanwhile, mommy's got a $200 Nokia from China. Yep. Hey, Ludwig, how you doing, man? Didn't you send me an email and I responded? Rudolph Skeppers, do they bottomless coffee? No, they don't do bottomless coffee. This is £4.30. So that coffee cost me $6. But I have to have an excuse for sitting here. I can't just take up and not do any custom here. I've got to do some custom. A file full of documents, past and future. There you go, Candace. Hey, Nicola, how's it going? Sorry, I've been MIA for such a long time. Missed everybody. Well, Nicola, I'm glad you're back. Good to see you again. Hendo. Summary 70 Rand. The clouds are gathering. They don't really want to work, just get a junk degree. Yep. Love the way the libs state they love and accept well. Oh yes, they're such loving, kind people. Look at how overwrought they were at the assassination of Charlie Kirk. All the sympathy that poured out of the hearts of the leftist people. Yes. Not. Silence in the shop, yep. Anyway, so the liberals are so full of themselves, leftists. All right, so that guy is resigned. So Keir Starmer's got all kinds of problems. Ooh, a large coin, 99. Get another coffee, another square meter of one. It's 2 meters you get. Constance Martin and Mark Gordon are jailed for 14 years over the death of a baby in a tent. It took a newborn to live in a tent in wintry conditions in Brighton after going on the run to evade social services. He's black and she's mixed race. Not that it matters, but you can't see the photograph. That's why I'm describing it. 2 parents who caused the death of a newborn baby after taking her to live in a tent in wintry conditions to evade social services have been sentenced to 14 years in prison. Constance Martin and Mark Gordon went off the grid in late 2022. Their 4 older children having previously been taken into care due to concerns for the safety if left with the couple. A jury in their Old Bailey retrial unanimously found them guilty of manslaughter in July. In their first trial last year, defendants also have been convicted of perverting the course of justice, concealing birth of a child, and child cruelty. Sentencing them on Monday, the judge said, "It's clear neither of you give much or any thought for the care or love of your baby." The judge said they displayed arrogance, adding, "What you did towards baby Victoria can only be described as neglect of the gravest and most serious type." There's been no genuine expression of remorse from either of you. While they said they expressed sadness, they had adopted the stance of trying to blame everyone else. On Monday, they were jailed for 14 years. Wow. And Gordon was handed another 4 years on extended license. Speaking after the trial, Detective Chief Inspector Johanna York, who led the homicide investigation, said this, "Oh, thank you, Neff. Honored to pay for your coffee." Thank you so much for that. Thank you for the super chat. 140 Rand. Speaking after the trial, Detective Chief Inspector Johanna York, who led the homicide investigation, said the selfish actions of Mark Gordon and Constance Martin result in the death of an innocent newborn baby who would have recently had her 2nd birthday and should have had the rest of her life ahead of her. Yazwant Narwal, the chief crown prosecutor, said the couple had used different antics to frustrate and delay the court proceedings, adding no child should have had his life cut short in this preventable way. Agreed. Officers launched a nationwide hunt after finding the couple's burnt-out car on a motorway near Bolton in Manchester on January 5th, 2023. In it was evidence that the baby had been born shortly beforehand. They traveled across England in taxis with the newborn, eventually ending up in the countryside near Brighton. After a search by police, her body was found amid rubbish inside a Lidl bag in a disused shed. Why are people like this fertile? Why can people like this breed? I mean, these people should be sterilized, right? I mean, that's what Sheldon would do to them. My goodness. The defendants claim their daughter's death was a tragic accident after Martin fell asleep on her. In 1990, Gordon, then 14, held a woman against her will in Florida for more than 4 hours and raped her while armed with a knife and hedge clippers. Within a month, he entered another property and carried out another offense involving aggravated. He moved with his mother from Birmingham to the U.S. at the age of 12 and was sentenced to 40 years in jail and released after 22 years. This guy spent 22 years in jail in the U.S. and he's from Britain and he came back. Jeez. In 2017, he was convicted of assaulting 2 female police officers at a maternity unit in Wales. Wow. Where Martin gave birth to their first child under a fake identity. Jurors were told Martin had been warned by social workers about the risk of falling asleep with the baby lying on her and what attempt was unsuitable. This is unbelievable, folks. I mean, how can these people such people even exist? They're just evil incarnate. Evil incarnate. Imagine laughing at Charlie Kirk's assassination the Dems did. Something's very wrong with them. Indeed. Anything new from Thea? No. Thea said she'll talk to me when I get back to the States. How we doing? It's got 1,500 people watch the stream down on a Monday, man. This would be like a 10,000 or 15,000 views, and we'd have 1,500 people live streaming. We haven't gone over 300, 307, I think was the peak audience. You should do a video on all the hateful things Black and colored South Africans say on U.S. Embassy, Facebook, and Twitter posts. Well, I haven't seen them. My bum is bleeding, but I'm alive. Okay, stop, Charles. I don't want to hear about that. Serious dental and superbug after surgery. Well, most of those people commenting on social media in South Africa don't even know who Charlie Kirk is. They know nothing about him. They're just repeating, they're parroting like trained, I'm not going to say the word, trained circus freaks. Yep, some people give anything to have a precious baby and we raise that child well, but these people are just sick, evil people. And they get away with it. They get away with it, folks. The world has lost the plot. There's a lot of evil going on. You're right about that. Back to the news. Okay. Tory MP Danny Kruger defects to Reform UK. So the Tories have lost an MP who's joined Reform. Politician says flames of conservatism is passing as he joins Nigel Farage's right-wing populist party. Conservative MP Danny Kruger has become the first sitting Tory MP to defect to Reform UK, arguing that the flame of conservatism is passing from the Tories to Nigel Farage. Well, look, the Tories are not conservative. I mean, their last government was a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. It wasn't conservative. They were socialists beyond belief. The Tories are... the Iron Lady, Maggie Thatcher, would vomit if she saw the Tories. They're a disgrace. They're a disgrace to conservatism. So the only option you have is Reform UK. The defection means that Reform now has 5 MPs in Parliament. Significant blow for Conservative Party leader Kemi Badenoch ahead of her party conference next month. Kruger is an MP for East Wiltshire and said at a press conference in London that he was leaving the Tories to become Reform's head of preparing for government, adding that his old party was over. Prime Minister Keir Starmer has described Farage's party as the real opposition in Britain in spite of its small representation. Well, the reason it has a small representation in Parliament is because the first past the post voting system, which ensured that multiple parties, that Reform got almost nothing. And the Tories, or that Labour got a massive number of members of Parliament despite not winning a majority in any of these places. Liz Truss is a disaster, Palapala, Charlie. I'm talking about the government. Look what they did. They flooded the country with illegal immigrants. They tax people to death. The Tories are a disgrace, Pablo, Charlie. Have you been paying attention to what's been happening in the UK for the past 15 years? There's a reason they lost. They fought Brexit. They fought it hard. They were forced into Brexit. I mean, look at Boris Johnson. Liz Truss, Boris Johnson, disastrous Prime Minister. Boris Johnson, fantastic mayor of London. The last real mayor that London had, long before this lunatic Sadiq Khan became mayor. Yep. We will never surrender our flag, Sir Keir Starmer says. The British Broadcasting Corporation, the propaganda outlet here in the UK. UK will not surrender its flag to those who wish to use this symbol of violence, fear, and division. So he turns on citizens. So what they're trying to do is paint the English and the Brits who fly their flag out of patriotism as extreme, hateful people. Not the case. There may be some of those people involved, but that is not the case. The vast majority of these people are patriots who are tired of being marginalized by their own government, being pushed aside at the expense of people who aren't even English or British. Prime Minister said the flag represents our diverse country. No. The diverse country is Welsh, Scots, English, Cornish, Manx, Irish. That's your diverse country. The rest of the stuff is nonsense. It's a fantasy you've fabricated. And this, of course, is something Labour would say. His comments come to after more than 150,000 people. Now, the BBC says 150,000 people showed up in central London for United Kingdom. 5,000 took part in a counter-protest. Business Secretary Peter Kyle said marchers were demonstrating freedom of association and freedom of speech. Prime Minister said people have a right to peaceful protest. It's core of our country's values. Except you banned protests during lockdown. Remember that? Remember that? You made it a criminal offense for a protest. And you've arrested people who are standing on street corners holding the English and British flag. You don't believe in that sort of stuff. We will not stand for assaults on police officers during the job. Well, nor will I. That's wrong. Or for people feeling intimidated in our streets because of their background and color of skin. Feeling intimidated? You feel intimidated because the English are proud of their country? Well, then maybe you're in the wrong place. Maybe you're in the wrong place. Britain is a nation proudly built on tolerance, diversity, and respect. No, it's not. That's a fairy tale. Our flag represents diversity. No, it doesn't. Your flag, you moron, represents Scotland, Wales, and England. Hence the red, white, and blue. The blue is for Scotland, the red is for England, and the white is for England, the red is for Wales. Blue for Scotland, white for England, red for Wales. It doesn't represent diversity. It represents those three countries that are in the United Kingdom. Stop with your... This is like saying that the Statue of Liberty, bring us your tired, your poor. That's some bullshit leftist poem that was written after the statue was delivered. The statue is a sign of amity, friendship between France and the United States. It's not about bringing your tired, poor, and dirtbags and useless, tuberculosis-laden scumbag immigrants to America. That's not what America's about. That's a fiction created by leftists. Yes, America's a country of immigrants. We welcome immigrants, millions, tens of millions from all over the world. Legal immigrants, not criminal alien invaders who invade our sovereignty. Driving down wages, stealing identities, misusing social security numbers, clogging our schools, clogging our clinics. And that's how a lot of Brits feel. So Keir Starmer's full of it. Police say 26 officers were injured on the day, including 4 who were seriously hurt. Well, that's unacceptable. For most of Saturday, Central was filled with thousands of people waving mainly Union Jacks as well as St. George's flags. Some Scottish saltires and Welsh flags were also seen. Kyle told Sunday with Laura Knusbag that protests like this were the klaxon calls for those in power to redouble their efforts to address major concerns that people have. What worries me most is the divisions in our society and other societies and other democratic societies. It's not even the left and right at the moment. There are figures such as Tommy Robinson that are able to touch into a sense of disquiet and grievance in the community and our society. The small minority who had committed violence would be held accountable, he told the program. Elon Musk spoke to protesters on Whitehall via video link, telling them they could either fight back or die. I missed that. Kyle criticized some of Musk's comments as totally inappropriate. Huge police operation was put in place for the protesters with 1,500 police. They brought in police from Leicestershire, Nottinghamshire, Devon, and Cornwall. No wonder there are no cops when I was in Cornwall. They were all in London. It's a mostly peaceful protest. Unlike Kenosha, Wisconsin, it was actually a mostly peaceful protest. Yep. But Keir Starmer's full of it. The British flag doesn't represent diversity. It represents Scotland, Wales, and England. That's what it represents. That's why it looks so crazy. That's what the Union Jack represents. U.S. and China have agreed on a framework deal for TikTok, according to Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary. Yeah, Trump said they got it. So, let's see what's going on with that. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said that U.S. and Chinese officials had agreed on a framework for a deal allowing TikTok to continue to operate in the U.S. He declined to comment on the details. Trump has until Wednesday to enforce or delay a law requiring TikTok to be separated from Chinese owner ByteDance or be banned over national security concerns. Okay. Marco Rubio is in Israel. Yep. Caroline Levitt, the White House press secretary, appeared on Charlie Kirk's podcast that Vice President J.D. Vance is a guest hosting it, with Stephen Miller also coming on. This is what seems to be happening now. Senior officials of the federal government have taken over a conservative media entity to talk about a crackdown on anti-conservative thought and speech. And they're introducing the idea that the vast left-wing movement directly led to Kirk's assassination. So the New York Times is trying to create some fantasy, right-wing takeover of the media. Okay, first off, they said Charlie Kirk was right-wing. They said Charlie Kirk had no followers. He was unimportant. So if Charlie Kirk's podcast was so unimportant and had little influence, why is the New York Times freaking out and claiming the U.S. government is taking over the media? The U.S. government did take over the media under Joe Biden. They censored us illegally, violating the First Amendment, coercing, cajoling, or collaborating with tech companies to silence voices they didn't like over COVID, over immigration, over the corruption in the Biden regime. It did take over, but that has ended. So it's funny to see New York slimes pull this crap. Vice President J.D. Vance, guest hosting Charlie Kirk's podcast from his White House office, provided a glimpse into actions the Trump administration could take against political opponents in the wake of conservative activist assassination. Vance said the administration would not go after constitution-protected speech, but rather the network of foments, facilitates, and engages in violence, even though authorities are still working to identify the motive of the suspect. Well, this is something that should have been done a long time ago. Members of Congress are not exempt from their speech calling for violence. They've called for the assassination of Trump when he wasn't president. Remember that? Chuck E. Schumer and others did that. Yep. Joe Biden called for the assassination, said someone had to take him out during the campaign. Remember that? Well, they don't make the distinction, Charles, about whether they arrested the Palestinian crowd or it was Tommy Robinson's crowd. China snubs U.S. soybean farmers. On a windy September morning, Josh and Jordan Gockel huddled to discuss looming crisis facing the North Dakota soybean farm. For the first time in the history of their 76-year-old operation, their biggest customer, China, had stopped buying soybeans. Their 2,300-acre soybean farm is projected to lose $400,000 this year. Well, maybe you shouldn't have grown soybeans. You should have been paying attention to the political winds. I did, hence this laptop sitting here, because Trump said he was going to introduce tariffs, and I bought that on November 6th, after the election. Maybe in November, you should have been paying attention to Trump and his trade policies and believe it was going to happen. And then you wouldn't have planted soybeans to sell to the Chinese. You would have planted wheat, or you would have planted maize, or you would have planted something else of value, or you would have let that field go fallow for a year. You're losing $400,000 because your own stupidity. Your own stupidity. Yep. Farmers in North Dakota exported more than 70% of their soybeans to China before Trump unveiled the new tariffs. China says NVIDIA violated its antitrust law. Going after NVIDIA. So the Chinese, NVIDIA betrays us by offering their AI chips to the Chinese, something we should never do, and Trump allows it, and now the Chinese want to punish them. Stupid Chinese, I swear. Communists are dumb as a box of rocks. Regulators move against chip company that comes during Washington-Beijing trade talks. China said initial probe found NVIDIA violated the country's anti-monopoly law, heightening pressure on Washington during the latest round of U.S. anti-monopoly law. They don't operate in China. They just sell their goods there. Citing the violation in connection with NVIDIA's acquisition of an Israeli company that was completed in 2020, regulators said the investigation was continuing. Beijing's move came hours before Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told reporters that they had reached a framework deal for TikTok. Yep. So the Chinese are trying to play games here. Kash Patel confirms DNA evidence matching Kirk assassination, so we know it is this clown that did it. Looks like. Trump says they're declaring national emergency if Washington stops cooperating with ICE. Ooh. Wow. Trump says people on the left already face major investigation after Charlie Kirk assassination. His remarks came as Republicans in Congress pressed for formal probe into left-leaning groups. When asked by a reporter whether any groups are under scrutiny, Trump's investigations were already underway. Well, the problem is on the left, Trump said. If you look at the agitators, you look at the scum that speaks so badly of our country, the American flag burnings all over the place, that's the left. That's not the right. We'll see. We'll be announcing they're already under investigation. You know, they're already under major investigation. A lot of people that you would traditionally say are on the left are already under investigation. My goodness. Trump did not elaborate, but he said that. So look out. The president said that crime would come roaring back if the local police department stopped cooperating with immigration customs enforcement. President Trump today threatened to declare a national emergency in Washington after Mayor Muriel Bow Wow Bowser said local police will no longer cooperate with federal immigration. I think Muriel Bowser, there should be a bench warrant for her arrest, for fomenting violence, and for facilitating criminal activity in the District of Columbia. That's what I think should happen. So she should be removed as mayor of the District of Columbia. Times, it was crystal clear that some students did not know what they were actually supporting. What are you talking about, Rex? Good luck with that. People are too divided. 10,000 church denominations. Okay. Rena, what's up? I'm late again. Can't help but catch up. That's fine. You can catch up and watch it after the fact. Appreciate it. We got a small audience today, which is just fine. It's more intimate. People can chat and enjoy it. Script Charlie's funeral will need to be tight. By the way, apparently Neil DeVere's funeral was this weekend. Somebody sent me a photograph of the tribute they were doing. I can certainly played a tribute video at the funeral, and there was at least one photograph of me in there. It was pretty wild, pretty cool. So me, Fatima, and then Neil and someone else, I can't remember who was in there. Anonymous Lex, I was talking to Chris Ehlers. Are you guys arguing? What's going on over there? Chickens are gathering and goose eggs arriving. I'm in business now, says Val Cooper. Hey Val, what's going on? What's going on? Guys, I'm telling you, man, it's a 58-minute train ride, and by car, it's an hour and a half to go those 80 miles right now. It was 52 minutes earlier. Now it's an hour and a half. See, that's how quickly things change. So I left this map up from Exeter to Bristol. It took me 2 hours and 40 minutes yesterday to travel that short distance, 79 miles. Today, when I turned it on about an hour ago, it was 52 minutes. Now it's an hour and 32 minutes. It's added 40 minutes since then. Man. It's crazy. I want to subscribe, but I also watch a lot of his podcasts. For me, it's excellent how he debates all subjects. Yeah, Charlie Kirk was brilliant. I didn't like him personally, but I respected what he did. And so let me see if I can find what I'm looking for here, folks, because this is driving me nuts. Where's my admin folder? There it is. Let's see if I put it there. Oh, now the mail wants to be slow and connect. Okay, so that took care of something I answered. Okay, again, if I have any... Oh, no, Katie sent me an email. No, Katie, I don't feel bad because of you. I feel bad because of me. I feel like I let you down. Okay. Okay, I don't know if Katie watches the program. Katie was here once, twice. Again, I will be at that hotel on Thursday at the Heathrow. No, Katie, I don't feel bad because of you, Katie. Katie sent me an email. I feel bad because I feel like I let you down. I don't like letting people down. And look, again, let me be clear about this so no one misunderstands. If I set up a meet and greet and nobody shows up, it's not the end of the world. I don't have an ego. I don't need thousands of people. I'm like that, not like that young TikToker likes to show off her little tiny hips and her little bum and her little tiny C cup there. That was disappointed when no one showed up, and she was almost wanted to off herself. If no one shows up for meet and greets, it's okay. I find something to do. In that one, I did a live broadcast. I was going to do it anyway, and I recorded 3 videos while I waited for people to come. I haven't aired any of them yet because I was bummed out about my phone, so I've got to edit them. But yeah, folks, if no one comes to my meet and greets, it's not the end of the world. If people come and miss me, so like I had a meet and greet in Howick, and a father and son came down from up near what's the toll booth up there? God bless it. I can't think of it. Anyway, further north there, below the pass, below Van Riene's pass, the toll booth. They came down from that area and drove down to Howick and arrived after I left. I hung out at a restaurant for like an hour. Nobody showed up, so I had something and I left in Howick. That was a couple years ago. I felt bad about that. They came to the next one and made it to that next meet and greet, and they were 2 of the 8 people there. That's what I felt bad about. I don't feel bad. No one made me feel bad. So, all right. So don't. Yeah. Are you talking about Charlie still? Okay. What was I looking for? I was looking for this thing I signed up for. Huh. I don't know where it's at. I can't find it. What's the name of the damn thing where I submitted my stuff on that website? I can't even think of it now. My goodness. I'm going to have to think about that tonight because it's driving me nuts. Do not worry, we'll meet you. And no, not on my lawn. You're not going to meet me out. Moy River. Thank you, U.S. Minion. Moy River Plaza. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you. Moy River Plaza, guys. That's what. So they drove down from Moy River down. And there was a family that are dairy farmers. They have jerseys. And they missed that I was in Howick. And they were so close. But I think they had to go somewhere to get passports or something that day. So we missed. And I would really love gone to their dairy farm. It was close to Howick. I could have driven up there and back. Would have been easy. I had no mileage. By the way, I have about 600 miles left. So I'm going to not get charged for extra mileage. So I'll probably drive the next 3 or 4 days, probably 400 of those miles riding around. So that'll leave me with a little cushion. But I hate this, you get limited mileage, stupid stuff. Anyway, yeah, so I can't find what I was looking for. That sucks. Maybe I can find it later on. Do I have, maybe over here, let me see. I don't think I have it in this folder. Okay, nope. Nope. 40% of my 15 gigabytes is used with what? There's nothing there. I must have loaded a bunch of pictures without my permission. Anyway. What's this? Anyway, sorry guys, I got distracted by the email here. Let me get back to the conversation before everybody disappears on me. Okay, that's how that was done for, says Rudolph. Titanic has already struck the ice mountain. I was taught that religion is that entity that one needs to have a belief in to maintain one's sanity. I'm going home soon. I'll be home on the weekend. And then I'll be home for a few days before I head out to Idaho. and I'll be filming a documentary with the cake net out there. So that's coming up. All right, so just so you guys know. Yeah, I've got a medical appointment, I think on Monday, and I'm not sure when the other one is. In fact, let me check and see if I get a response from on the medical thing. Okay, okay, that one's good. Okay. Hang on a second there. Is that October? Okay, Monday, 22nd, September. That should be October. Okay, I'm good. Okay, I didn't screw up. Good. I'm good. Okay, cool. Cool beans. By the way, folks, it's Kenneth Mpile's birthday today. Happy birthday to Kenneth Mpile. Happy birthday to him. Drifting ship, no rudder, no anchor in muddy waters. Yeah, but it doesn't drift very well in muddy waters. You get stuck. So I don't think that's the best analogy, but I get your point. 400 likes, but 270 people here. That's pretty cool. And we had some super chat money before the clouds dissipated. The clouds are gone. They're no longer gathering. No longer gathering. Hendo's put a what's the chat? What chat is that? Click to chat. Oh, that's the invite. Okay, got it. Okay. Let me see. You've sent an invite. So. YouTube asked me if I wanted to remove Hendo as a moderator. Why would I want to do that? Oh, that's that one. Oh, by the way, for people getting mad at me about things in chat, things in WhatsApp, please don't do that. I mean, people keep blaming me for groups I have nothing to do with. People add me to groups and they're like, your group, I'm being abused there. I'm like, well, no, you're not being abused. It's impossible. Unless my moderators have gone off the reservation or abusing you, because my 2 refugee groups, no one can chat. But I'm talking about this refugee group. Well, I'm not in that refugee group. I'm not part of it. I I don't control it. It's not my group. So, there are 2 groups, and let's see how busy they are. Let's see. I'm going to take a look at them now. U.S. Okay, there's one. Okay, and Hendo pinned a message in there. Wow, a lot of messages. It's been a while since I opened that group up, so give it a second here. It's loading them up. A lot of messages. They're all from Hendo, because only my moderators can comment in my refugee groups, and me. Maybe we should take that away from Hendo, man. He's going crazy here. It must have been days since I opened this thing up. Look at this. It's still loading. There we go. Finally got to the end. Okay. All right, this group, referee group number 2, has 1,015 members. Okay, if you want to join, we can add 9 more people or 10 more people to that group right now. Here's the link. Paste. That's that group if you want to join that. If there's anybody that wants to join it, and don't worry, you can't be spammed by other people because only I and my moderators can comment there. So there's that group. So let's see if anybody sends a message for that. Well, my CPU is at 99% usage because my WhatsApp is, and my browser is using too much memory. So let me get rid of a bunch of crap here that I don't need. It's mostly over here where I did the news. I already covered this news, so I can get rid of a lot of these windows. So let's get rid of that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. This should reduce my RAM. Wow. Thanks for hanging around. No, I don't know what happened there. Just and it wouldn't reset. I had to exit YouTube and come back and reconnect to the same program. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. Anyway, I'm back. Yeah, sorry that I disappeared there, folks. That's crazy. Okay, let's see what happens if we got in here. So, yeah, I've never seen that before. Yeah, I'm back, Alan. I've never seen that before. That's the weirdest one. So when I try to reconnect, sometimes you have no bandwidth. It won't let you reconnect, but I kept trying to reconnect. Finally, I said, let me escape this. I went, hang on. It won't let you reconnect, but I kept trying to reconnect. Finally, I just said escape. I went out of it, and I went back, and it said, hey, do you want to resume your session? I'm like, yeah, and let me resume it. So it wasn't a bandwidth thing. It must have been a YouTube thing. I thought maybe I got a strike or something like that, so I went and looked to see on that. But thanks, guys. We lost a lot of people, and now since I've come back, I lost another 20 people. What's up with that? Yeah, I'm back, Ingrid. I'm back, yes. We die hard, Wyatt Army. Indeed we do. It's hard to get rid of us, yeah. Hard to get rid of us. Yeah, so we got 1,800 people, but I went from 258 people down to 134. I lost 150 people just like that. Just like that. I broke it. Well, it wouldn't be the first time I broke the internet. Yep. Yeah, I broke the internet quite a bit. They really didn't want you to keep, yeah, they really didn't want me to talk. Yep. Anyway. Yep. So, oh, Rudolph, is it your birthday? My apologies. Happy birthday to Rudolph. Happy birthday to you. I know that it's Canthan Pille's birthday, but happy birthday to you as well. Yep. Anyway. Yeah, YouTube can be a little weird at times. It definitely is today. No, not too much caffeine. I haven't had enough caffeine. That's for damn sure. Everyone's refreshing. Well, I hope they're refreshing. We haven't really gained. Oh, back to 200. There you go. Thanks for sticking around if you did, folks. But the other 50 people, 158, where'd you go, man? Where'd you go? Hit the like button. And happy birthday to Rudolph Skeppers. Happy birthday to you. And there's a little cake or cupcake there. Thank you, CB. Good to see that. CB, my condolences on your cheetahs, but my joy over the Griquas. I hope they don't get annihilated by the Lions next week. Let's see when that's on. Let me check my Flow Rugby schedule, okay? Okay, Flow Rugby schedule. Okay, this is the 15th, so that's going to be around the 18th or 19th. Okay, okay, so that's the 19th, nothing, 20th. Okay, God, there's a lot of games. Army versus Life, I don't really care about that. I care about the Curry Cup. When's the Curry Cup on? Huh? I don't see the Curry Cup. You bastards, you better have the Curry Cup on. Oh, there it is. 4 p.m. GMT, so 5 p.m. South African time. So that's going to be, for me on Saturday, that's going to be noon. Cool. You seen Tommy? I did see his Charlie. Did you hear my Charlie song, folks? Let me see if I can. There's nobody here, so I'm not going to disturb anybody. So let me play the Charlie song if I can get it to load up. Actually, I've got it here. Yeah. Let me see. Let me play it from the internet if it'll play. Suna wanted to act difficult on me the other day. It wouldn't load, so. But I did download it, so. Let me just try to find it here, Charlie. Okay, there we go, Charlie, there it is. Charlie stands. I downloaded it 4 times. Good Lord, I don't need 4 times. Delete those 3. Hello, delete. It's very slow responding here. Okay, so did I get there? It's not. Suno's taking too long, so I don't have a good enough connection. So let me just play it from my car, my drive. Okay. This is a song I did for Charlie Kirk. For those who are here.
Voice like thunder broke the sky. He spoke for truth. He dared to try.
With courage burning, bright as flame, Charlie Kirk was more than just a name.
They thought they'd silence what he gave, but free speech doesn't find a grave. Charlie stands on in the hearts of the brave, in the fight for freedom, the road he paved. Though the coward struck, his life won't fade. Charlie stands on in the love he made. Faith in his eyes, a fire inside, for family, for values, he never lied.
The world grows quiet, but echoes stay. In every soul, he led the way.
Gone from sight, but never far. He's the whisper in the stars. A warrior fallen, yet standing tall. In every voice that answers the call. Charlie stands on in the hearts of the brave, in the fight for freedom, the road he paved. Though the coward struck, his light won't fade.
that's the song I did the other day.
Charlie stands on in the love he made.
Anyway, that's the song I did the other day. I thought it was pretty good too. I wanted to do a duet in the country because that seems like the appropriate sort of thing. So anyway, I hope you guys like that. I'll get on Spotify, but I got to get to a decent connection. I haven't had a very good connection. Like right now, I can't reload the studio. It won't load. It's telling me. So I don't even know if I'm live right now. I'm chatting, but it's just, it seems like I'm live, but we lost some people, so I don't know if we dropped off there. But the internet is in and out here now. It's kind of sucking. So bad enough I'm sitting here watching my phone with the fade. 350, Colonel, thanks for the Kirk song. We'll miss him. Yeah, thank you so much for that, Barito. Very kind of you. That's some serious clouds there. 350 Rand. Thank you so much for the bye-bye donkey. Yeah, anyway, gosh, we've been at this for an hour and 52 minutes. I didn't realize that. Yeah, no, it's I'm gonna publish it on Spotify. I'll try to do it tonight. I'm trying to remember where the hell I'm doing my CDs that I can't remember the name, and I don't have a message tell me, thank you, Tope, I'm live. I appreciate that, but I can't load the studio. God, this is so annoying. I'm so sick of this third world connection. It's ridiculous. Okay, so that's on Saturday. That game. Let me get down here a little further here. Samoa and the USA, was that on? We've got URC coming up too. Not this coming weekend, but next weekend. So I'll be traveling next weekend. So yeah, again, so the Bulls play the Osprey to get the season started on the 27th. Zebra, okay, that's the Bulls and Osprey. That one's at Loftus. So we start. New Zealand plays Australia. So I have to get ready for that game. 6 a.m. here, which means 1 a.m. for me. Oof. That's an important game though. We actually need the All Blacks to beat Australia so the Springboks can climb to the top. And then where is South Africa? They're playing in Durban, so they need to beat Argentina in Durban. They can't take Durban lightly, man. Cannot take them lightly. And then the Lions play Cardiff. I'm looking to see what's going on with the Stormers. I don't see the Stormers here. I've got so many games listed here that are available. So anyway, that's the Stormers have a bye the first week. I don't see that. Where are the Stormers? Stormers aren't listed here. Where are the Sharks? Maybe they have a bye. Oh, there's the Stormers. Stormers play on the 26th. Must be a Friday. They play Leinster in Cape Town. A tough way to start the season. I mean, Glasgow plays the Sharks in Scotland, Scottstoun Stadium. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm having a hard time connecting here with stuff. So, people are leaving left and right. What's going on, man? Something go wrong? You like that, Charleston? The roof box below seems the stream is limited to low resolution. Yeah, it probably is. Why don't we wrap it up here then, folks? All right. I'm going to run around and do some errands. So, all right. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you all being here. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for sharing this time with me. And I hope you have a good evening. God bless and be safe out there to everybody. Once again, Palapala, big deal. Okay, I got to go, Martin. That's it. So cheers, everybody. Take care.